So to our guests today, they're here to raise awareness of a cause very close to their hearts. It was 20 years ago that a cheeky Chesney first stole our hearts on Coronation Street.
Get to school, have loads of money and a great big house.
With a garden for dogs?
Yeah, loads and loads of dogs.
All right, I'll go to school every day.
2 decades later, our Ches is a grown-up dad to 5 children. In real life, actor Sam Aston is a father to 2 adorable children with his wife Briony, 3-year-old Sonny, and his baby sister Daisy. They joined us here on Loose Women, sharing the ups and downs of parenthood. The pregnancy was a bit of a surprise for both of you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It was a wonderful surprise, because we knew we wanted more anyway. Just didn't plan on having such a close age gap.
Sam and Briony were keen to add to their beautiful family. But in a heartbreaking Instagram post recently, Briony shared the news that she'd suffered 2 heartbreaking miscarriages within just 4 months of each other. Opening up an important discussion and raising awareness of baby loss, Briony said, "I'm not seeking sympathy. I feel well supported and want others to feel supported too." Well, very, very difficult for them to talk about it, but they're very keen to do that, to raise awareness. So please give a very warm welcome to Sam and Briony Aston. Firstly, we're so sorry that you have been through such a terrible time. Very, very traumatic. And for most people, that trauma is kept fairly private within the family. But you decided to share it, Briony, as we saw there on Instagram. Why did you feel the need or want to be so public about something so difficult?
Because it would have been so much harder for me to experience all of that if I hadn't have had other people talk to me before. So other people sharing their stories and talking about their babies that they lost made it so much easier for me to, I guess, grieve the process and then sort of carry on and move forward.
And what response did you get from people?
Oh, it was amazing, to be fair. Everyone's been so lovely. But it just had hundreds and hundreds of messages. I've only got a very small page, but hundreds of people had messaged to say they've had similar experiences and how hard it can be not being able to talk about it and it being hush-hush in families and feeling like you can't share your story. So I just felt very pleased that I had done it because I was nervous at first. I didn't want people thinking it about me. I just wanted other people to think there is support out there and I'm happy to talk to anybody else who's going through a similar thing if it helps, because it helped me tremendously knowing I wasn't alone.
And quite soon after losing the first baby, you then had another miscarriage,
Yeah.
didn't you? I myself had a miscarriage many years ago after I had my second son, Louis, and I went to the hospital because I felt something wasn't right and they gave me a scan and then she said, "I'm going to call a doctor." And I was there with my little son, Louis, and then as soon as the doctor came in, I knew something was wrong and they then said that the baby was dead and then I had to go home and come back the next day to have the baby removed. But what I found really difficult, and also my husband found it really difficult, because it kept saying, "Do you think we did something wrong? Like, we had sex. Do you think it could have been the sex that did something?" You know, like, there was lots of things that you want answers for to find out why that had happened.
Yeah.
Is that how you
It's easy
felt?
to want to blame something and try and find a cause. For me, I very much just sort of trusted the process and I guess just thought this is the way it's meant to be for me. It's the way I kind of have my outlook on life in general anyway and think my babies will come to me at the right time.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be. But thank you.
And also so hard for you, Sam. I mean, you're being very supportive there, holding Briony's hand, but, you know,
Thank you.
You go through it together, but I suppose, you know, it's Briony that goes through the physical side of that miscarriage, but then you're still grieving. That's your 2 babies too. How did you deal with it and support her at the same time?
Well, I think just obviously being there for her, like you've hit the nail on the head, obviously. I can't really understand in a way because it's not my body going through it all and things like that. But just being there to empathise and obviously, and I do feel proud that she was able to, you know, put it out there because, like she said, it then, you know, it opened up a conversation and loads of people messaging and...
Shows how common it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I suppose I felt a bit naive because I didn't even realise that it was so, you know, common. And
it's 1 in 8, I think, isn't it? 1 in 8
Well, I read 1 in 4, but I think it's got to be way more than that because so many people don't talk about it.
You don't even know sometimes that you've had a miscarriage, do you?
Yeah.
I wonder why people are still so reticent to talk about it when you think people talk about almost everything now. go on social media, women will discuss things in such detail that I find sometimes I can't quite believe that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they equate having a miscarriage with a sense of failure.
Yeah, I think for some people it's not an embarrassment, but they feel like we can't possibly admit that this is happening in our family, so just don't let anybody know, don't pretend everything's fine, which is, I guess, easier for people who aren't going through it, but then when you're the person going through it, that makes it really, really hard. It's like this is a secret that we can't possibly talk about, and it isn't the way it should be, unless, obviously, you want to keep it to yourself. Some people do feel that way. But I just think people need that support, and I do have sometimes people, you know, saying, oh, when's the next one coming along? Or there was a lady in Aston, she was saying, well, till the next one. And I was like, And I guess unless people know what you've been through, then they realise it is more of a sensitive topic and maybe not to bring certain things up. But yeah, I am pleased that we have talked about it, because it just helps so many other people, and that's the main thing I've got from it, really, is just
and
the more we
helped you
talk.
as well,
Yeah.
because you're all talking. And,
Yeah.
I think sometimes
Absolutely.
as well, because people don't talk about it, people think it's not as horrible for you to go through as it is. Because I think sometimes when you go into hospital or go and see doctors, because I've got a sister that's had quite a few miscarriages, they're very medical about it, and I think people forget that mentally it can be really difficult, because you've already decided a life and a personality and a vision of what that baby's going to be, and I think people forget that side of it. Did you decide to tell people you were pregnant before that 12-week mark? Because I think that's a thing now as well, because if you don't tell friends or family before your 12 weeks, you then have to go through that alone. Like, what decision did you make?
We never reached 12 weeks with either of them. Right. It was really, really early. So I told family, I told close friends, because it's the excitement.
Yeah,
I want to share it.
Yeah.
And after the first one, I told myself, you know, part of you thinks, I won't tell anybody, I'll try and protect my heart and not get excited about it. But I think, no, I'm going to enjoy it, because whether it's this lasts till full term or whether this lasts only a few weeks again, I want to just enjoy however long I've got. So I did tell them. It did make it easier then when telling people that we had lost. They were like, "Oh gosh, I'm really sorry," rather than, "Oh God, I didn't realise you were pregnant." So
I think
makes it
it's
easier.
lovely that you said, and you said it on your post, you know, that you had so much support with your family, you know, with Sam as well, and you've got Sonny and Daisy, because the last time you were on, I was on, actually, you brought the kids on.
It was chaos.
It was lovely. It was lovely chaos. I hope you don't mind, because I would like to end on a note. Oh, look, the red hair. Well, there he is. Look, that's you, Sam, really. Look at Look at
There I am again.
They're just gorgeous. But I did want to end on talking about Corrie, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Because this year, you've been in Corrie 20 years. 20 years! I mean, you know, I'm a huge Corrie fan, as you know, so I watch all the time. So I forget about little chairs, and then you look at how young. Look at you. Oh, so cute. Can you believe
it's
it's
looking
20?
at Sonny now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a few years. But no, it just goes by in a flash. It really does, you know. There's lots of cast members into there now that have been there 20, 30, 40 years, and it just blink of an eye.
Yeah, and you've had some amazing storylines, and a good one at the moment.
Yeah, so recently obviously got married to Gemma. We got the quads, that's mayhem. But
Can you imagine in the studio with 4 babies?
yeah, oh, well, there's more than that, because we have obviously...
Spares.
You know, yeah, spares. But, and as well, with Billy and Paul, well, obviously Paul, you know, with MND and everything, so it's, that's
It's what Corrie does so well, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
And what about Sonny? He's 2 now, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 3 on Friday.
Is he 3 on Friday?
Yeah.
He's so lovely. He was running around today. Does he ever see you? I mean, obviously, maybe not all the storylines, but does he know Daddy's on TV?
Not yet, like, as in, I think he's a bit too young. You have, obviously, you sent me a picture when I was at work of him watching it.
And he was really confused. He was fine when you were on screen, but then when, obviously, Gemma then comes on, the kids, he's a bit like...
Who's that?
Who are they? I don't know about this.
He's got another family.
Well, listen, congratulations on your 20 years.
Thank you.
Again, thank you both so much for talking
Thank you
about
for
this today,
having
because I
us.
know it's very, very difficult, but you will help so many people, and let's hope that we can
Hopefully.
discuss these things
100%.
more openly, because it really does help. Sam and Briony, Aston. Also, just to say, if you have been affected by anything that we've talked about, support will go over to our website and you'll find a list of helplines. We're going to take a short break now. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.